it's 9 o'clock. Should we go ahead and get going?
Yeah, definitely.
Do we want to do our big intro first?
Oh, yes, we can.
All right, here it goes, everybody. Ready, set, oh, wait for it, and action.
All right, welcome to Friday Live. My name is Lynn Norusis.
And I'm Tracey Barrett.
And we are here to welcome you. I hope everyone has had a good week under the circumstances.
Yeah.
So first, we definitely want to address that, especially because we do live, obviously, in the nation's capital. And
Wednesday was
exactly.
a tough day. It was, I am hoping that now that the election is certified, that we can move forward, start healing, and start bringing things together. I think the most sobering part of it is I've got a client in Hong Kong right now who we had a 7 p.m. call on this time zone set for Wednesday. He's coming back to the area and he emails me after waking up to the Capitol being besieged and says, "Do you need a minute?" And I said, "No, I'm safe. I live out in Fairfax. Everything's okay. We should go ahead and have our call." So point is I think the entire world is watching, and I hope that we'll be okay, and just everybody stay safe, and let's pray that we can get our act together and move forward as a nation and be safe and have things go forward.
Yeah.
So on an extremely lighter note, Lynn has pulled together some pretty fun stuff to check out. Our assistant Maura pointed out that Kanye and Kim are potentially getting divorced, right. So we'll be watching that closely. Nothing to do with real estate, but there it is.
Right, and so starts all the lists of everything for 2021. So a couple things that we came across specifically to the Northern Virginia area that we think is going to be great for you guys to know. So first and foremost, I want to a personal friend of mine and just a fantastic restaurant in Northern Virginia that we are proud to have in our region. Condé Nast Traveler named Restaurant at Potomac one of the best 100 restaurants in the world. So definitely to the owner, congratulations, Tarver King, the chef out there, congratulations, and all the staff. Such a feat and well deserved. Now, in Esquire magazine, they just came out with their 100 restaurants America can't afford to lose. Now, there were only 2 from Virginia. Both were in Richmond. However, Marcel's in D.C. was named one of those as well. So congratulations to Marcel's in D.C. And then, unfortunately, in restaurant news, on a bit of a sadder note, well, not a bit of a sadder note, just a sad note. January 12th is going to be the last day for Amphora in Vienna to be open. After 44 years, this beloved local restaurant is shutting its doors. So make sure to get out there sometime this weekend to support them, say thank you, say goodbye.
I will say my Woodson High School alums, when that was announced, it kind of blew up the feed as far as don't you remember, do you see when, et cetera, the late night meals was something that I know that people are going to miss, and I'm sorry that future generations aren't going to be able to see it in Vienna. But they are open in Herndon, so all is not lost. You can still do the catering business, the whole nine.
Yes, so that is a loss that we are seeing, one of the first losses for restaurants that I have seen for this year so far, but we are only, a couple days
January.
In. Right. So, some other news that we that is of note. So Chad Dukes, in October he was fired from 106.7 The Fan. He has come out saying that on January 11th at 9 o'clock, he is supposed to be starting a new podcast of his own. So, you can follow him if you were a fan of his to check that out, to see his new show. And then some interesting news in real estate, but more of a lifestyle. Everybody always wants to know how, the lives of the rich and the famous. Well, I have a little bit for you. So Creighton Farms just sold their highest priced home in December, and it sold for $7.1 million. Now, it was 2 different lots. So it was one lot that had the home that sold for $5.5 million, and then it was an empty lot next to it that sold for $1.6 million. It was sold to a couple from LA, Robert and Miriam Cutson, and they are part of, I think, kind of like a more tech education company, because they were profiled by the Wall Street Journal in 2018. But the home was actually the former home of Washington football players Robert Griffin III and also Jordan Reed. So, but the news for this is the fact that this is so far the highest priced home sold to date in the Creighton Farm neighborhood.
Right. And if you guys aren't familiar with Creighton Farms, it is out by Route 15, just south of Leesburg in that area.
Yeah, I mean, huge golf community.
Right.
So that's some interesting news that we have come across for Northern Virginia this year.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that we should go through what the format's going to be. Since this is our first one, we'll go ahead and let you know. Our format is going to be that we are going to do some kind of interesting tidbits. The idea is to not do all real estate and enjoy some of the stuff that goes on. So we wanted to do a week in review. With that said, I'm just going to blow past our intro again and get right into the market update. Looking back as we were coming out of 2020, as we know, it was a rough year for us with coronavirus from an economic standpoint, jobs, restaurants, health, etc. That said, the real estate market was deemed essential in Virginia, and we ended up with a really banner year. Overall, throughout the region, we ended up, as you can see behind me, at 9.42% appreciation overall, and in some regions that was even higher. Depending on how competitive the actual market was on. The days on market continued to fall to just over 17%. The only reason that isn't even higher is because in many cases, at least in our experience, as well as other agents' experiences, we would put a house on the market on a Thursday, have offers in hand Thursday night, and needed to set a deadline because we'd have 30 to 40 or more. I think the most I had on one house was 126 showings in 3 days, and we ended up with multiple offers on pretty much every single listing we had. Yep. When I was doing the data analysis, we ended up I think we averaged 101.6% of asking price on every single listing that was out there. So it's continuing to be an incredibly robust seller's market. You'll see that the number of homes that sold increased by 33.4% in the region. So even though we see that bump up, we are still having a shortage of what's going on out there for our purchasers. There are multiple offers. There just aren't enough homes out there for people to buy. So let's address that really quick.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, especially if you're looking in certain areas at certain price points, it is just a tough market to be a buyer. However, one thing that we have been noticing trending is, I would even say it started even, I think over the summer we started to see the trend of it, which is in Arlington and Alexandria, the condo market, that has slowed, especially when you're looking at those high-rise condos. Obviously, I personally think there's two different reasons for that. I think the first one obviously is COVID. People are not wanting to be really close to everybody. I mean, Tracey and I are sitting next to each other because Tracey and I have been quarantining together. We see each other every day. I
see her next to my husband. She's the person I get to see the most. We live in the same neighborhood. Our kids are friends. So we're part of each other's bubble. That's why we're sitting so close together.
Right. But with COVID, people aren't wanting to be in those really dense areas. But at the same time, I also think another reason why you're seeing, that condo market slowing down is because the interest rates are so great, they're moving up. And at the same time, with the economy, it might be that those people that would be moving into condos are maybe in those job fields where they are a little bit hesitant because of the economy, because things are shut down because of the pandemic. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. However, because of that market slowing, if you are looking to get into the Alexandria and Arlington area and you were thinking condos, I mean, now's a great time to go out. You have a lot more negotiating power in that market than you probably do in the other markets.
Precisely. So with that being said, as a seller, now is the time to make sure that you're contacting us, make sure your house is ready to go. You can never really contact us too far in advance. I've had people, in fact, I've got an appointment tomorrow with somebody that contacted me a year ago, and they're looking to go probably in another 9 months. We've been working together to analyze what's going to get the best return on their investment as far as updating their property, and eventually we will list that property. So if you're considering it, get us now. We can get you the best return on your investment, highest possible sales price that we can. From a buyer standpoint, our team is a 50-50 split on purchasers and sellers, so we know what's winning, and therefore we've got a lot of different tricks up our sleeves to help advise you on getting the best winning in a multiple offer situation.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Yes. So some of the other things that we do is if you go to focusonnova.com or you follow us on our social media pages like you are right now, we cover a lot of what's happening in the area, because our big belief is a home is just a house, but what makes it a home is the community that surrounds it. So it's so important to be involved in your community, because that is what then makes your lifestyle. Right. So we want to make sure that we're bringing you, all the great things to do to really enjoy the Northern Virginia area. So what we just talked about this past week on our website is we talked about some Facebook groups that are really focused on Northern Virginia. So if you want recommendations for food, for travel, for breweries, right, anything. So we went ahead and we pulled together some different Facebook groups specifically for Northern Virginia that are great resources for you to have and get involved in. We also put out there, these are just the ones that we have used, come across. If you know of any other great ones, let us know. Comment on either the website or on our social media. So then that really helps other people get involved. Now, one thing I do want to point out is we were really, really specific of not looking at any group where someone is trying to sell you something. Right. This is all about being a resource to Northern Virginia. So we went ahead, we looked at that. We also went ahead and took a look at the Park Fairfax neighborhood in our What You Get For series, to where we broke down what the numbers look like if you were to buy a $300,000 place.
And this was a buyer for you, right?
This was one of my buyers. Right. We were out for a long time looking and to try and find that one. So her and I, we started looking in, I want to say it was November of 2018. Right. And we were just really looking for that perfect place. She was lucky enough to have the time to do that. And I want to say obviously things are subjective, but we went and we probably looked at over 30 different places. Right. And of those 30 places, this one by far had the best lot. It had amazing brightness, natural light coming in. It was exactly what she wanted. And man, was I able to work to get her a really good deal.
You got her a really good deal. That's fun.
So
let's go into What You Get For. For those of you who are new to the website, the What You Get For series is really fun. What we do is we take listings and purchases that our clients have done, and we dive into it, usually with some lender help, where we say, okay, this is what it looks like, this is how much they paid for it, and in the end, we then have the lender numbers to break it down to say, okay, at 5%, at 10%, at 20%, this is what it would take to get to the table and close, and then ultimately what your monthly payment would be. So it's a really good exercise, and we do this all over literally the map of Northern Virginia and
yes,
price point of Northern Virginia. So you'll see everything from $200,000 condos in Fairfax all the way up to 1.375 was the highest we did last year in Oakton. So it's all over the place, and it's a really great resource. And we found that our purchasers have enjoyed kind of playing with the numbers and then hopping online with mortgage calculators. We've been using Day One Mortgage a lot. I've also partnered with Intercoastal Mortgage with Graham Pruitt, and Main Street Home Loans with Jolene Moore. And Brian came in over at George Mason. All of them have helped us with these numbers, so it's been fun to do.
Yeah, well, that, and also, one thing that I heard a lot is, how many people have come to say, I saw that and I didn't realize you could even get something in Alexandria for $300,000. Right. Or with the breakdown, it's something to look into. It's always good to be educated on anything you do. But a lot of people were really surprised if they're renters. They looked and they're like, I'm paying more than that in rent.
We're pretty much Mythbusters when it comes to that.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much Mythbusters.
Yes. So the other thing, I'll let you talk about it a little bit. We did on Monday have our inaugural Masters Monday, something that happens the first Monday of every month. But go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, so Masters Monday is the brainchild of the founders of the Village Drive Village, which is in our neighborhood, and it's a 55-plus organization. It's I'm going to call it a movement. It's a nationwide movement that is helped with the governments, the local governments, counties, etc., to help 55-plus seniors stay in their homes. Lynn was door knocking one day, passing out flyers. She was doing a charity for a donation drive that we were doing in the neighborhood. And literally, Rebecca and Bob grabbed her and said, "Come here, we want to talk to you." Long story short, Masters Monday was something where we partnered with one of the local independent and assisted living places where we would do a monthly talk, bring in a speaker, and the residents in the neighborhood and at the facility would come. So we decided once we went virtual with this that, well, if we're going to do that, let's just give it to the big bad world. So we ended up with a fantastic talk. We had an incredible turnout. Chuck Morrow, who is a local Herndon resident, there he is. There's Chuck. He has just wrote his 4th book, We Once Met by Chance, and he is a local Civil War expert. Reason why this was important is that we live over by Fair Lakes, and there is the Battle of Chantilly Ox Hill Monument, where two Union generals were shot and killed after the retreat after the Battle of Manassas. Chuck got interested in this years ago and started doing photography, wrote his first book, the whole nine. And he comes in, and this is the 3rd talk he's done for us. We have it archived on the website. It's fantastic. So again, you can go to focusonnova.com/hot and fresh news, and it's there underneath things to do. So mark your calendars because we've got a bunch coming up, but we're going to come back to that. But check out that feed. It's absolutely riveting. This book, he explores 4 different perspectives in the Civil War. Mosby Lowell from a officer standpoint from the North and South. Laura Ratcliffe, the spy. She lived over by Frying Pan Park in Herndon. And then Robinson. Yeah. He was a free man, wasn't he? He was a free man.
He was, yes, the father was.
He was a free man.
Watch the talk.
Yeah, watch the talk. But he was a free black man's perspective living in Virginia. And what's super interesting about this is that his descendants are still here and went to T.C. Williams and have now moved out to Gainesville. I mean, and fascinating.
Well, not only that, but find out how Denzel Washington is all linked into this. So definitely go ahead. And one thing I do want to point out, so as Tracey mentioned, we live in the same neighborhood. A couple years ago, I was during a Thanksgiving break watching the Ken Burns Civil War series.
So cool.
And I was it was, like I said, it was over one of the holidays. So I was like laying in bed all warm with my iPad watching. And one of the scenes and one of the events that they were talking about, they had pictures of it, and they were talking about where everything was happening. And chills through my body because I realized they were talking about my property.
Your front yard. Yeah.
Yes. So it was.
They're at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Right. There is so much history involved in this entire region. And that's what we're wanting to bring. Not only history. We're going to have talks about other things. But it is just, it's fascinating, some of the things. And I don't know if
we'll get into more of that later. But check out Chuck Morrow's talk. It was fantastic. It's only an hour. So pop your earbuds in and take a listen.
Yes. So
all right. So high tea. So Ingrid Barrett, who is my mother-in-law and the matriarch of our team, and I love her so much, and she's amazing. She wanted to treat us to something real special. Her favorite shop in the whole wide world is The Things I Love in Manassas, Old Town Manassas. So she treated our team for a social distanced high tea. And I just wanted to point it out. We are looking for things where it's safe to go, we can get out, and more importantly, we can start supporting our local businesses. So our feature for things to do this month was the high tea. It's high time for high tea. We looked at 4 different places, the things I love, and addition to other places, there's one in Herndon, another one in Falls Church, and then of course the creme de la creme, Ritz-Carlton in Tyson's Corner and or Pentagon City. So you guys can check those out for things to do and support your businesses. It was a lovely afternoon.
It was fabulous. It was
just lovely.
It was a much needed respite from the holidays. And it was just really good to kind of be pampered a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a pamper.
You know, and oh my gosh, the food was amazing.
The food was amazing. So we went to the things I love, and the food was amazing. We could not eat the sweets at the end. I mean, I took
so
like a
food.
bite, but I brought it home, and the kids just crushed it. Of course, Mimi, Ingrid, did not eat her sweets, so she gave them to the grandkids, and I walked in, and they just demolished them. It was not tea time at home. It was just like full-on pig fest, but that's okay. All right, so what's coming up? So this week on social media, this is what you need to be watching for. Lynn, Norusis, take it away.
Yes. So once a month, we always do a deep dive into some development update across the region. This month, we are looking at updates for both inside and outside the Beltway for the I-66 transportation project. We're going to look at what the timelines are, where things are in the process, when it's expected to be done, and what you can expect over the next couple months.
I'm going to point out that this series is hugely helpful. If you're going under hot and fresh news and you drop it down into real estate development, we are now a year into processing these and producing these, and they're out there. And I literally had a client yesterday who was interested in historic Herndon, fell in love with the evergreen homes that were built there. So she's now pinpointed that. So if you're in the market to sell one, please contact me. I have a buyer for you. That said, she said, what's coming? What's happening with Herndon? I was able to shoot her the video, and in a very concise, with illustrations, video, and explanation, she got the lowdown. This is not the first time I've been able to do that, especially with the Fairfax development, since most of my business happens to be in the Fairfax area, but not exclusively. But I've had that question a bunch. So, I mean, these are great articles for what's coming, and we do try to kind of rotate through it all throughout the year, once a month, so that you get updated news as to the progress in the region.
Yes, and if also I want to point out, if there is a specific area that you have questions about what's coming, get in touch with us and ask. We're both natives to Northern Virginia. As a hobby and past career experience, I know the 20-year comp plans for the different counties. So we know what's coming. We can be driving down the street and someone's like, oh, I wonder what that is. And we can be like, actually, it's 236 homes that are going in, townhomes in this area. So if you have any questions, ask us. Let us know, and we can help you get that information.
100%.
Yes. So some of the other things that we are doing, we have coming up on Thursday with our Top 3 Takeaway, which is a series we do that rotates between both lifestyle and real estate news. Next week, we're going to focus on real estate, and we're going to be talking about breaking down what those great tips are. If you are a homeowner who wants to move to another home, but you need to sell your home first, we're going to talk to you about what those key points are, tips are of going through that process, because it's basically kind of a double transaction that you need to time correctly.
Right. So in other words, you need the equity in your house in order to get to the new house. That's what this one's all about. And clearly these are going to be, generally speaking, about minute and a half to 3 minute long videos, depending. So it's very high level. So if this is something or is a situation that you're in, reach out to us and we will walk you through your unique process. But this is at least a really nice place to start. And again, with this Top 3 Takeaway, Hong Kong guy, he found us because we did one on new construction and thought it was fantastic. So this is just a really great resource. If you need something specific with real estate, you can find it on YouTube as well as the hot and fresh news. And don't worry, for those of you who are not interested in the real estate stuff right now, the Top 3 Takeaway High Tea, for instance, was a local spotlight on lifestyle that this is featured each Thursday.
Right. And sometimes we'll do a couple weeks ago, we did like what to do to prep your home for the winter. So there's a lot. The Top 3 Takeaway is meant to be quick hits with information that is pertinent to you, whether you are a home buyer or seller, a homeowner or just anybody who lives in Northern
Interested
Virginia.
in doing something.
Yes. So moving on. So I'll let you take this one because this was your listing. So
this is the what you get for that we were talking about before with the Park Fairfax. And again, just to show the diversity of it, this is a townhouse in Burke. We listed it at $480. Lynn's going to go through the highlights, what it looks like, and then Brian came in, hooked us up with George Mason Mortgage with the mortgage rates, 5%, 10%, 20% down payment. What's really cool, and this was filmed back when we had it listed, is that this one, getting back to what kind of market we're in, ended up with 10 offers. We ended up escalating $38,000 over asking price, selling it for $518,000. Again, these were people who called us in advance. We were able to give them and show them where the return on investment would be for the updates that they did. They did a reasonable amount of updates and ended up with a heck of a return on their investment. I mean, it was just, if they hadn't done it, it would have been listed closer to $450. They did it. We listed it at what we thought was market value and ended up having the market do the correction itself. And the offer was just absolutely stellar. So thank you to that agent. It was beautiful. It was waived appraisal, no home inspection. I mean, this seller literally just said, thank you very much, handed over the keys and cashed their check. So it was really nice.
Yes.
All right. So these guys come out every Tuesday. Look for the what you get fors.
Yes.
All right. Very exciting.
Yes.
Bourbon is on the screen, folks.
I know. So get your drink ready because one new thing that we have coming to 2021 is we are hosting different virtual seminars. So first one is going to be this upcoming Thursday, January 14th. At 7 o'clock, I am going to be hosting it. I'm going to be talking to potential home buyers, answering any of their questions when it comes to the home buying purchase. And then on Saturday, or I should say the home buyer happy hour seminars are the second Thursday of every month. Sorry, there's a lot of things we have planned. It's the second Thursday of every month, and it is on Zoom. So you do need to go to our website to sign up for those, where you can go to focusonnova.com/events. We also are going to have seminars on Saturday mornings. That's going to be the third Saturday of every morning. We have a seller seminar that starts at 9, and we will have a buyer seminar that starts at 10:30. Tracey this month is hosting the Saturday ones. And then on Thursday, January 21st at 7 o'clock, we have the seller happy hour seminar, which I will be hosting, and that again is at 7 o'clock. And those are always on the third Thursday of every month.
Right. So mark your calendar. If it doesn't work this month, then you can hit us up over there as well. And if none of that works for you, then we're happy to do your very own Zoom call / meet you in person. It just depends on how you do. And just so you know, even though we're not wearing masks right now, we reiterated this before, the office takes extreme precautions. Everything is sanitized, wiped down, etc. So if we have to meet in person, we can do that. So cool. So what's next?
So
next,
Masters
Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
So this
is so exciting.
I'm very excited for this one. So our Masters Monday for February is Bob Levy, a former columnist for the Washington Post. Dear to my heart because prior to real estate, I was in media for 18 plus years. But he is going to be talking to us about the golden era of the Washington Post. So yes, that means Woodward and Bernstein. So definitely I cannot wait for this talk. It's going to be so exciting. And again, you are going to be able to find this. We are going to have it on Zoom. We're going to be doing Facebook Live with it. Would be great if you register because then you'll get the link and all the notifications to remind you that it's happening. But you can always catch it on our Facebook pages when we go live as well.
When we go live as well, exactly. And just to know, he is talking about that, but we told him as well that we're going to be also promoting his other book, Larry Felder Candidate by Bob Levy. So he's going to be talking about both of those. But yeah, it's a big name, and I'm really excited to have him on board. So mark your calendars, February 4th, 7 p.m., Facebook Live. Register so you get your reminders, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
All right.
So last thing to talk about are giving you guys information on some things that you can do around the area this weekend. So a couple things that we have coming up on January 9th. So that is The 9th is
tomorrow.
Oh my
Saturday.
God. Tomorrow, Saturday. You can, there's going to be ice skating at the Winter Village at Cameron Run. So those over in Alexandria, you can go ahead and literally hop on the frozen water and skate around. Also, for those of us who need a little bit of Zen in this time, so tomorrow or today at noon, you can go ahead and do some meditation and mindfulness. They are free sessions where at different levels of what you can do. So to jump on, you can get more information with that on our website under the
hot and fresh news things to do.
Yes, for January. And then last but not least, coming up on tomorrow evening, over at State Theater, they are kicking it by doing outdoor concerts. And tomorrow night they have Gestures to the Left. So make sure to check that out and, bundle up a little bit, but finally go in. I mean, I know I'm a huge concert person, and the fact that I have not been to a concert in almost a year.
So many shows canceled last year.
I mean, we had, how many of us were going to the Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Journey concert?
Right. And generations
devastated.
Were going. Like, our children were going the whole nine. I mean, Buffett was missed last year. Avid Brothers, Zach Brown, all of it was missed.
Many.
So, anyways, so put on your ski gear, grab yourself a sleeping bag, and get outside and enjoy that over at the State Theater. Again, let's support our local businesses. It is an icon that was completely redone in Falls Church City back in the 90s, so we can do that and support them. Lynn and I have been known to bundle in ski gear and sleeping bags and sit on the sides of soccer fields together. Yay, November tournaments. That's also not happening right now, but I digress.
Yes.
So I guess that's really it. We will see you guys online. Subscribe to our pages. Check us out. Follow our pages. If you are interested in getting a newsletter only once a month, no, we won't spam you. With a lot of this information in it, we can get that out to you. You can just go to our Focus on NoVA About pages or say, hey, comment right here, and we'll sign you up. Yep. Or DM us, private message us, PM us, whichever platform you're on. We'll get you all hooked up. We really appreciate you joining us today, and we'll see you next Friday for our Friday Live and recap.
All right. Have a great weekend. Everybody stay happy, healthy, and sane.
Exactly. Big finish. Here it goes. What? Contact us for your real estate needs. Bye, y'all.
Bye.